Hello, everybody. As always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am Coach Paul, and this is Hola Prime's Market News Update. To start, we had more Japanese economic data released this evening. Japanese overall household spending year over year was at 1.3%, much less than the expected 2.6%. And the month-to-month figure is at negative 5.2%, which is even worse than the previous figure of negative 4.6%. Japanese bank lending year over year increased to 3.2%, more than the previous data release of 2.8%. Lastly, the Japanese current account NSA yen data came out at 1,348.2 billion yen, less than the expected forecast of 1,806.1 billion. This measures the difference between value exported and imported goods and services and interest payments during the reported month. This month's reading can be interpreted as relatively bearish for the yen. Interestingly enough, the USD JPY pair is trading upwards about 0.32% as of now from the previous daily candle open. On another note, rumors came about in the market headlines today that the White House is considering Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller as the next candidate for the Fed chair position after Jerome Powell's term is finished. Also, Donald Trump nominated U.S. Council of Economic Advisors Chairman Stephen Miron to serve the final few months of the vacant seat at the Federal Reserve since Adriana Kugler announced her resignation suddenly last week. The US dollar continued its relative weakness among most of the major currency pairs. US equities were mixed today, with the S&P 500 flat, the Nasdaq up about 0.42%, and the Dow Jones down about 0.4%. Euro USD had some push and pull action today, closing up by less than 0.1% and is currently trading at 1.1705. CAD USD was a bit indecisive today as well, settling at 0.7289, down by less than 0.1%. The pair is currently trading at 0.7294 as of this writing. Tomorrow, we have two Canadian economic data releases at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, including employment change and the unemployment rate. GBP USD made a nice gain today, up about 0.6%, and is currently trading at 1.345 as of this writing. The Swiss franc followed and was flat today and is currently trading at 1.2465. Lastly, the New Zealand dollar notched a green day against the US dollar, up 0.51%, and is trading at 0.5978 as of now. Gold futures continued its bullish week with a large move today, recording a $51 per troy ounce gain and currently trading at $3,494 per troy ounce. In the overnight session, gold has even traded as high as $3,534 per troy ounce, testing the relative high of gold's price range over the last 3 months. Silver futures also showed further bullishness, gaining 1.5% on the day, and currently trading at $38.62 per ounce. A massively bullish week for the precious metal markets. On the cryptocurrency front, Bitcoin futures rebounded nicely in today's session, closing up roughly $2,400 at about $118,000 per coin. This comes after seeing Bitcoin over the past few trading sessions trading as low as $113,000, but seemingly finding some strong support at $114,000. WTI crude oil futures broke through its $65 per barrel support today, retesting the level as resistance and continued its downward move. Price is currently trading at $63.80 a barrel. Last but not least, we have some CPI and PPI year-over-year data from China coming out tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, without further ado, it's time for our Quiet Markets live trading session with both myself and Coach Tiger. So let's get to trading. All right. Alrighty. Are we live? Are we live? I think we're
Yeah,
here. All
we're
right.
good.
Little bit of a little bit of uh, production stuff going on there. We got to it. We're here now.
Yeah, yeah, we here.
uh,
Fashion.
we are here.
Always an interesting time getting on live. So there's always some little
Uh,
thing.
yeah,
No,
man.
you came through crystal clear. Yeah, I
All
was
right,
getting a
cool.
little bit of a blue screen myself, but I got a new link and everything's looking fine. I think YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's looking good. Perfect.
Yeah,
So how's
looks good.
how's your day?
It was an interesting day for me. I mean, I kind of discussed it in the Prime Day wrap up that we had earlier, between like 4:35 and 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Basically, I traded really well throughout the day, but I had a relatively bad, like, 35-minute to an hour streak in the afternoon, in the later in the afternoon, which kind of bit me in the butt there. I'm trading on larger size, relatively speaking, now. I am trading like closer to an e-mini contract, if not actually between like zero point 0.5 of an e-mini to like 1.5. So e-minis. So I'm doing it in the micros. So I'll do like 5 to 15 micros essentially, um, on, and that's between either the S&P 500 or the Dow or etc. So definitely just, getting used to trading with a little bit more heft in the Project X account. I have never traded micros before in lot sizes of 5, so that was interesting. But
Yeah.
yeah, kind of, getting myself into positions in half minis. It was interesting, but um, definitely had a good trade to end out the day. It was like a $600 trade on the rebound at the end of the S&P 500. So
Good,
at the end
good.
of the market for the S&P 500. So yeah, man. But how about you? How was your day?
Yeah, I think when I popped on your stream, I think you were down like 100 or 200 at the moment, but you brought it back up to just like $9 under zero. And that's about the time I was getting sleepy. So I went to sleep, but no, it's a good day for me. I do have a couple trades that are open. Let me see here. Just looking at the market real quick. Okay. But yeah, I ended up getting into two trades actually this morning. I think that first one was this morning. Let me double check here. Yeah, 4 a.m. So yeah, I ended up getting into a couple of trades. Now it's funny because both of these trades were giving me uh, one a bullish signal, one a bias signal as far as my top setups page. Um, and on both of them, very soon after I got into those trades, some news came out and moved it to where they're both now in neutral. So that's just kind of the luck of the draw when it comes to the dynamic. These being dynamic signals, fundamental sentimental signals. But yeah, Aussie dollar, Swiss dollar. I ended up getting into a short on it. Like I said, about 4 o'clock this morning. And then I also got into a long position on the euro pound, which is the one that paid me this last Friday, if you remember. So I got into that one at 7 a.m. or actually it was right after the stream. About 7:30, I think it was. But yeah, they were both giving me the Aussie Swiss was giving me a bearish signal. Got into that trade. Not too long after that, it moved to neutral. And then the same thing happened on the euro pound. I had a bullish score of a 5, and yeah, it dropped to a 4. So 4 for me is more neutral. I still feel pretty good about the trade though. Just got to let it do its thing and work its magic. Um, Back end, if you don't mind, if I know we're kind of getting some screens moving around, but if you could pull up my chart, then
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just touch on briefly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just one moment while we get the charts up and running. I can kind of breeze through those, but yeah, just kind of recapping the news or the economic report. when we had the British pounds rate decision come out, excuse me, yeah, obviously came out as expected. Now, the one thing that was interesting that I noticed, Paul, you remember when we had our rate decision, what was that, last week, and we had two dissenters? We had two thinking we
Mm-hmm.
needed to drop rates, two out of the 9 or 10 or whatever it is. I think we had it easy compared to Britain because they have 9 on their board as well, and they had 4 dissenters.
Mm-hmm.
They had 4 people saying, no, let's keep it the way it is. But then you
Yeah.
had the 5
Yeah.
that wanted the rate, so the rate drop, 5 that wanted the rate drop. So I thought that was notable. I thought that was interesting. When you drop a rate, when you drop an interest rate, you would have thought that all the British pound pairs would have dropped, or devalued on the British pound. Well, it looks, I mean, obviously the opposite was pretty well true, at least off the bat. Um, and I got to look, and when you look at Forex Factory, when you see the decision, it also shows, of course, the votes. So obviously, actually, I might even be able to copy and paste this over real quick. Yeah, let's try that. I might go to my other screen real quick. So I thought this was, yeah, here we go. I thought this was a pretty cool, pretty interesting thing that I didn't even really, honestly, I've never really paid that much attention to. But when we're looking at the vote, okay, so 0 means raise rates, 5 means drop rates, 4 means keep it the same. Right? So that's the way this vote split is when you're looking at the bank rate votes. Well, it's green, right?
Mm-hmm.
You notice it's green. So I guess the way I read that is, you had 4 people that wanted to obviously keep the rate the same rather than dropping it. So that's 4 people saying, no, let's not drop the rate. No, let's not devalue, essentially, because that's
Yeah.
typically what happens. But had that been an 8-1 decision or a 9-0 decision, then that would have made a little more sense as to why that would have at least given us a bearish reaction to the currency, if that makes sense. But I
Right.
think the market
Right.
sees that as, well, no, that's a good thing, because those votes, because the previous vote was 3-6, as you see over here.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 wanted the cut, 6 didn't. But now the gap is closed even further. So I kind of read that as that if we're getting a 5-4 decision, then the next time, it could be a 4-5, it could be a 3-6.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep rates the same or get back to raising them or something. So I don't know. That was just kind of the way my brain took that, because I thought it was kind of weird, at first, that the British pound actually spiked. But that makes a little more sense. So hopefully I kind of explained that, at least the way my brain was interpreting that. I don't know. What do you do you have any thoughts on that?
No.
On your
No. I think you explained it well. And like, I guess with all the news that had come out, with the labor situation and whatnot, and like you were saying, like, we only had the 2 dissenters, but now look at us, like, the Fed Watch tool has at 93% or something to cut rates in September. I mean, for the U.S. I mean, not for Great Britain, but for U.S. is like, for the U.S. situation, that like seemingly overwhelming scenario of cutting rates in September leads me to think that that the Fed is relatively feeling cornered. I think that they are forced to cut for the sake of jobs, but they know that we are going to have probably some sort of spike in inflation regarding tariffs at some point. It's lagged. It's going to be lagged. There will possibly be a short-term spike in inflation that they will then have to maybe deal with at another point in time. But I feel like they're I think we talked about this yesterday. They're like between a rock and a hard place. It's going to be really difficult for them to navigate, I think, between the next 6 months to a year. of with everything going on politically and economically. So
Yeah.
um, I don't know what you think now, since the Fed Watch tool shows 93% or whatever, a 93% cut chance in September. What you think the market's going to do when that day comes? Do you think we are going to, you know, since now it's expected, do you think it's going to be priced in maybe beforehand, or is it going to be like buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event?
Yeah, that's always the safe way to look at it, huh? Buy the rumor, sell the news. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
something that gets people in trouble. Trying to
Yeah, right.
find right away, right? Um, yeah, I mean, it's really the same as about any other report. You just kind of buy it on the way. I mean, obviously it's priced in, so it's a good idea, typically to trade in that direction. So yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
obviously if they're going to drop it, then you know, I mean, it's hard to really time it, but maybe a week ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
start selling the dollar or something like that. Now, obviously, for me, I mean, ultimately, I pay attention to my fundamentals, so I look at it all as a collective whole. I don't put all of my stock into just interest rates, but yeah, clearly, I mean, I guess we'll have to look at the dissenters, right? Because apparently that
Right.
has a big.
Right.
I'll be honest with you guys and everybody in the chat. Of course, we're all about transparency here. I've never honestly really paid that much attention to the vote count like that. But
Mm-hmm.
when I saw the rates drop, or when I saw the prices for the pound raise, I thought, well, that's odd. I would have thought it went
Right.
the other way. And
Right.
and that's why you wait for the news to kind of do its thing on price action, because I already wanted to get into this euro pound trade, which is obviously selling the pound, right? Well, just because I wanted to sell the pound didn't mean I want to get ahead of this price
This
action.
rip.
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, my guess was initially wrong. Now, the cool thing is, at least for my trade, it's kind of turned around. So it was just
Mm-hmm.
it's just basically the market's way, or the big bank's way of flushing people out, because a lot of people know that when you drop an interest rate, you typically get the price of that currency to drop. Well,
Mm-hmm.
the banks said, no, we're gonna we're gonna take all this liquidity, because there's gonna be a lot of people shorting the pound. And I'm just glad I waited. Just glad I waited for that to kind of shake itself out, because um, yeah, just going back to my chart.
Uh,
Um,
Before we actually get back into the pound, real quick, I do want to shout out to the chat here. I
yeah.
do want to. We have a bunch of people in here. Chabuzer, nice to see you. Matt, good to have you here again. No sleep narrator, great to see you again. And Rude Girl, I messaged her in the chat as well. She was talking about or she was asking whether those futures are forex, and funny enough, it's
Mhm.
both. Uh, and and then Deontay Brock, the one of the cooler names that we have seen in the chat. Um, he was also in the chat in the regular trading hour sessions at some point. So good to see you. And yeah, it's good to see everybody. Delco as well. Nice to see you, and thanks for joining in. We're going to definitely be trying to get some trades on. I'll be looking at the NQ and gold and whatnot, like usual. Maybe a little bit of crude oil, because crude oil was an interesting one today. But yeah.
Yeah.
So back to the British pound. Back to that. We can look at your chart if you'd like to.
Yeah. Let's hop back on real quick, back in, and I'll just go through these two trades I'm in at the moment. And yeah, if you see something, you just let me know. Afterwards, at some point, I can definitely go over a few other alerts I'm looking at. Nothing too major. To be quite honest, for me, right now, it's all about managing these two trades. Um, not trying to get into my way and move stop
Mm-hmm.
losses around, take profits, that kind of thing. But let's go to the Aussie dollar Swiss franc first, because that was the first trade I got in. Um, so yeah, like I said, early this morning, it was giving me a bearish signal, so -5 or less. I think it was right at -5 if I
Mm-hmm.
remember right. Aussie Swiss. So currently, it actually moved quite a bit into the neutral territory. So it moved from -5 to -2. Well, why did that happen?
Well,
Let's take a look. Take a look at the Aussie dollar real quick. I'm just looking off screen. So Aussie dollar did have a bullish services PMI report 3 days ago. So that kind of goes against this narrative. Now, what about the Swiss franc? Something changed, and I can't remember what it was. Swiss franc, Swiss franc. Okay. Okay. Well, unemployment rate for Swiss franc was a good report. So they forecasted 2.8%, but it dropped to 2.7%. So that actually helps my
Mhm.
narrative on this. Now that came out after, of course, I put the trade on. But well, Switzerland basically, if I remember right from the news, Paul, didn't they say that they were not going to do the tit for tat thing with the U.S. as far as jagging up tariffs?
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
That was so I think that was one of the catalysts that kind of moved around my algorithm a little bit. But
Hmm.
either way, I'm in the trade. It's a neutral. It's a -2. I wished it had another 3 points onto that, favoring the Swiss over the Aussie, but is what it is. It's a dynamic list. That's just the way it goes. Every time an economic report comes out, it shifts my numbers. Same thing whenever we have news pieces like what Switzerland said. So anyway, it is what it is. I'm in this trade. The reason I got in this trade was because I did have this 4-hour supply zone area over here. I feel like it's a better place to get in than anywhere down here because this is just one big giant 2-week chop fest sideways. I mean, you did have a couple moves, like you had to move up there, you had to move up there, you had a big move down here. But
Hmm.
when you look at it just in the context of the overall price action, I just felt like it was just a big consolidation point right in there. Right.
Hmm.
Chop fest. So retail chop fest. Stay out. Right. So that's kind of what I was looking at. Just basically, I want to buy under value or sell over value. Let's make that red. There you go. Well, that doesn't do a very good job, does it? But anyway, you get the point.
Hmm.
There, white shows up easier. So I just wanted to basically, I have I have two options. I can either sell over value, which is what I did, or buy under value. Well, it's closer to a bearish signal than it is a bullish. And obviously, like I said, when I got in this trade, it was giving me a -5. It just moved around. So it is what it is. I did get a pretty good spike down at one point, and it's just slowly kind of matriculating back up, albeit on obviously less
Yeah.
volume. So I feel pretty good about that rolling over. I mean, that's ultimately what I want to see is I got to figure out.
Yeah.
I got my path. Yeah, maybe come down, respect this trend line again, maybe get another bounce, and then just kind of roll over, something like that. That's what I'd
Yeah.
like to see. So we'll see. But yeah,
Yeah.
I was
And
up pretty good at one point, but it's like I said, it's kind of retraced some of its gains. Again, it's been on less volume. So is that a fake move back up? No, it's just more of a retracement. I'm hoping. There's that word hope again.
yeah. Yeah. Well, but at the same time, like you were saying, you kind of, or like you do say, and you were kind of implying, is your quote of the move isn't really matching the gusto of sorts on
Yeah.
those candles, those most recent ones. It's like you got doji candles happening, but with like very limited volume. So the market's having a trouble, pushing up. So you might have sellers kind of joining you um,
Yeah.
on that lower time frame that you were looking at.
And
Yeah,
and I like
yeah,
and I
that's
like
good.
the daily candle that it had that big wick up top. So that's obviously clearly selling pressure, which is where that zone was at. So, um,
Yeah, yeah.
but
We have an interesting poll here
oh, what
in
we
the
got?
chat. If everybody wants to give it a little vote. What's your dream trading setup? You got ultra wide monitors, fully mobile table setup, soundproof trading cave, or laptop on the beach. It's between two for me, and I don't know if it's the two that everybody would think. If you think you know what my dream trade setup would be, also guess it in the chat. But
Hmm.
vote in the poll. I'm very interested to see. It's funny. Four
Yeah.
votes at the moment. for the ultra wide monitors at 100%. So 100%, man. That's hilarious at the moment. So
Yeah, I think that's my option too. Because I
that's
say
so
that because
funny.
well, I just have the two. I just have my laptop, and then I have one monitor. It's a HP monitor, and through my HDMI port. So I only have the two monitors. But I'm getting ready to go to Micro Center to start shopping for a full trading station because I need it. I'd love to have another 4 or 5 monitors
Oh
because
yeah.
I have
Oh yeah.
literally when I open my laptop every day, I've got like 15 different windows that open automatically that
I'll tell
I'll
you
start
what,
up,
when
and it just gets annoying
you're gonna
having to
go
click to
you're gonna go
everything.
5 monitors and you're never coming back, man. You're gonna go 5, even 6 or whatever. You're never going
Yeah,
back. You'll not. There'll never be a day where you don't trade without them. You see
yeah,
me looking up. I'm like looking up constantly, looking to the left. It's just because I have
yeah.
like my 4 monitors stacked here, and then I've got my one over here, and it's beautiful.
I can't believe it. I know. I guarantee when I get that set up, I'm gonna be like, how in the hell did I do this on? Well, I did it on one monitor for the first 7, 8 years. I just had
Mm-hmm.
this second monitor just over the last couple of years. I don't know. I just never got the setup, but I finally have the space now to where I can set it up along my wall. I got a map of the U.S. right there. I'll have to move it. Some coloring
Yeah.
projects, some adult coloring pictures up here, so probably can't show those on screen. But
Well, I mean, if I'm looking at your screen correctly here, man, you're in like a high rise in New York or something, I think, or you're in the mid floors of
oh
a
yeah,
of a high rise. So beautiful place.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm finally to a point in life where I can kind of expand a little and grow my own operation. So thanks to the good
Yeah,
Lord.
yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
awesome,
that's
man.
that's first thing on the agenda is get me an actual real trading station versus just a patch up job. I'm sure I'll probably I'm sure it'll help me a ton. Just again,
Oh
just being
yeah,
able to see more and more charts of what I'm looking at rather than constantly having to flip back and forth, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. That's what I've done. So uh yeah,
yeah.
can't wait.
And
Super excited.
honestly, and I guess before we continue on with that, because I do have something else to say too. Um, we do have a giveaway happening
Oh,
today. I'm sure you just saw that, Tiger, and we have a 50K challenge account, a Forex account specifically that we're giving away tonight to a viewer who has not won a challenge account yet in any of our giveaways. The There are a few things you got to do. You guys probably have heard this in the previous streams, but got to state them again. Make sure anybody who is eligible can get into this giveaway. First, subscribe to the YouTube and Instagram handles for Ola Prime TV and Ola Prime Global. So just give those a quick subscribe and follow, and then number two, got to comment on the live session. Tell us what you're trading, what you prefer to trade, what you're interested in seeing us trade in the live quiet market session. Really anything, or just say hi and see how we're doing. We're doing great, by the
tell
way.
us the
So,
tell us the lie.
and and then third, this is probably the most important, believe it or not. You need to have your email in the YouTube bio section of your channel. So if you go into your
Yes.
channel, you click the customize channel button at the top, scroll down in the description area, just put your email there, save, and you'll be eligible. And that's how we're going to contact you. So if you don't have that, you can't win because we won't be able to contact you that you won. So yeah, 50K Forex account challenge up for grabs here. I mean, big opportunity, big
Yeah.
opportunity, folks. So
Yep. Got some newer
get it
names
done.
too. So yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be exciting. That'd be exciting. First time on our stream, somebody wins an account. Hey, that's awesome. Just please share with your friends, your family, anybody that you think might be interested in trading. Maybe it's a 20, 30-year vet, right? Just we got a little something for everybody. Brand new, intermediate,
hmm
vet. We're trying to grow this thing organically. So yeah, just help us out. Share with your friends, family. Like I say all the time, your cats, your dogs, whatever. The neighbor's cat, right?
mm.
If they have a pulse,
Neighbors.
if they have a pulse, turn them on to our channel because we have fun. I don't take myself too serious. I like to joke and crack up and have a good time because, as always, trading can be a boring and lonely place. So it's always good to get into a community like this with like-minded people, and then again, just lighten the mood, which is what I like to do. So,
Undoubtedly.
but yeah. So that
Yeah.
was the Aussie Swiss. So the other one is the Euro Pound. So initially, when I got into this trade, and again, same thing on this one, I ended up getting in from this. What was it, a 1 hour? Well, on the trading view, it looks a little different, obviously, on the candles, but pretty much this basing action here. Okay, it was a little demand I put in, just drawing that up. Oh, actually, I have it drawn up. I just have to turn my tool back on. But anyway, yeah, I had this 1 hour demand, and then within that 1 hour, I believe I had a 15-minute. I think that was 15. Yeah, 15-minute candle, or 15, 30-minute. They're all about the same. But what I liked about this zone, Paul, is when I had all this basing action, and then I got the leg out candles. Look at the volume.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all the activity. So that shows strength. To me, that shows institutional strength. The big banks, right? The financial institutions, they're the ones that can move price like that. So when they're moving price like that, some people are getting left behind. Price comes back, people want a piece of the action. The banks themselves will probably fill some more orders. So that's why I ended up getting into that spot down here, or I'm sorry, yeah, up here. So it had initially kind of went against me. So I ended up getting in. Let me see, was it a 5-minute? Yeah, I was. Let me see, was it 1 minute? I can't remember which time frame I was looking at this one on. I mean, obviously dipped in and just went up. I think, oh yeah, I bought kind of after it bounced above this little high point here. So anyway, yeah, it bounced up, kind of went sideways, went down probably 3/4 into my zone. So I wasn't feeling the greatest at it at about 9:30 this morning. But then I decided to go to bed because, as always, I'm a night owl. For you guys watching at home, I do the Asian session, which is what we're doing now. And then I also do the European session. So I'm up and at them by 2 a.m. So I do my sleeping 10 a.m. to about 4 p.m. So yeah, literally, and I actually set up and watch this for a little while, probably till about 10:30. But I thought, well, I'm just going to go sleep. I'm just going to trust the fundamentals, do what it needs to do. It starts to curl around. So sure enough, it finally did. It finally kind of curled around and started coming back up. So looks like we're getting a little bit more of a recent retracement back down. But yeah, I mean, I still feel pretty good about this trade. But I gotta take profit up here just ahead of this supply zone up top. Because I would anticipate when price gets up to that point, it could retrace. So got my take profit there. That way, when price enters that supply, it doesn't turn around and drop it all the way and take all my profits. So that's always what I like to do: buy and demand, but then sell just before supply, and vice versa. If I'm selling in supply, I want to sell in supply and buy to cover just ahead of the demand zone. So it's really just kind of taking that middle chunk out, the meat. The meat. I just want the meat. So we'll just let her do its thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, what you got?
I'm sorry, man. I'm actually contemplating getting into a long. This is a new one for the quiet market session. Possibly getting long crude oil. Oddly enough, I've been short bias crude oil for a good amount of time, but it kind of looks like it wants to base out. So I might be getting in long here in a second.
Yeah.
And I mean, the volume's low, guys. It is what it is, but it's going to be a low risk, very low risk trade. So I think I'm going to get in long and kind of see where this goes. I mean, yeah, I will. Yeah, you know what? We'll just show it really quickly. We can show it really quickly.
Yeah, back end. If you want to move over to Paul's screen real
Yeah.
quick,
Higher.
see what he's going. See what he's got rolling. I guess I can raise my monster's arm a little bit, huh? There we go. Give it a weird looking arm.
All right. So, okay, when they are able to, when they get that up.
Let's get Paul's screen, please, back in.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we are.
There we go.
So, essentially, I mentioned this in the news update as well, the last couple market sessions. Essentially, I'll zoom out to the 30-minute here. The 65 area was a massive area of support, and we broke that in this yesterday's session. And then we came and retested it today as resistance, and it held beautifully and came down, and we traded as low as, well, what was it, 63.71 on the day. And looking at the 30-minute, this is, generally speaking, an area where we're kind of like basing out. Again, this is quiet markets, so it's not like this is happening on a bunch of volume or anything. So we'll see how like valid it really is at the moment. I'm long 6 micros, nothing super crazy or anything, but yeah. So I'm just looking to really on the 5. Or I'll show the 1 minute here. Reset chart. You look how like terrible. You know what? I want to move to the 5 minute for the sake of these. I don't want to burn people's eyes with how terrible those candlesticks are. My goodness, they're disgusting. They look
like
horrendous.
Renko.
Yeah, like no
Renko
thanks. So gross. But yeah, so this, like, we kind of had like, a low here, made a little bit of we made a higher high based on this like small little hump of a high here on the 5 minute. So made a low, made a higher high, made a higher low here, and then we tried to push up here. We relatively made a higher high. And then on this little tiny swing down on this 5 minute candle, like 15 minutes ago, literally, or 10 minutes ago, we kind of had a little bit of a candle, like a bullish candle. I mean, it's on very low volume, of course, again, and then we had this next candle on a little bit better volume. So I figured I'm going to get long with just my stop loss right below that area where we had swung down and tested this 50 period EMA. All of my EMAs are crossing each other, so I'm thinking now that the EMA is kind of based out in this quiet market session and are kind of turning upwards, I can put a small risk, and this isn't actually my target profit. I didn't mean to have my target profit there. I'm just going to look for, somewhere, some sort of acceptance of price in like this mid-range, kind of where here, I do have to zoom out a little bit further here. Sorry, guys. These charts are terrible because of the overnights and the overnight session and everything. But I'm going to look for some relative price action move, like a relative price action move up to this 50 period EMA, somewhere around the 64-ish to 64.08 area on crude. So, and it's kind of where, again, like we kind of hung out in this area a couple of times on this down move between 12 p.m. Eastern and like 2 p.m. Eastern. So I don't know, taking a little bit of a stab. This is my first crude oil trade in the quiet market session, so I'm not used to the volume. I'm not used to. I usually use order flow to read volume and see how participants are, whether they're feeling strong or weak, if there's aggressive buying, aggressive selling, etc. But kind of difficult to figure out sometimes in in these quiet market sessions. So
Yeah, I mean, you're 21. Yeah, it looked like it was a support. I mean, a resistance for a minute, and then it's trying to turn into support, right?
yeah, and this is multiple time
Well,
frames where this kind of basing out is
mhm,
happening on EMAs. So and they're starting to like cross over, relatively speaking. All the shorter ones are starting
mhm.
to cross. So
Well,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
looks like a good attempt at it. So we'll just see how the market,
And it
see how
already
the volume.
just got stopped out. Just got
Oh,
stopped out. Literally immediately. It just went like 7 ticks down or whatever, stopped me out. So no
it
surprise.
had
My goodness gracious.
its ears was itching. It knew we were talking about it.
That's hilarious,
Oh, I'm
honestly.
going to show you.
For real.
It
My
happens.
goodness. I think I'm going to get
It.
long some gold. Am I going to get long
Yeah, nice
gold? Or am I going to get short?
decisions.
What am I going to do here? All right. Let's get long. Let's get long gold here. All right. And then move this. See a breakout to relative to the VWAP area in the overnight here. Essentially like a 1-to-1 trade. It immediately went in my favor. Longing gold here. I mean, there's a little bit more volume being traded in gold, so it's a little bit easier to read than crude for sure in the overnight sessions. But we are getting super wicky at the moment, especially when I'm looking at the order flow. We're having like large sellers push things down, then we're having large buyers pushing things up, and it seems like it really wants to try to keep price up, but I wouldn't be surprised if we just see a random like 45 lot to the sell side trade, which then drops price like $1 per ounce. So again,
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. We'll see. I can.
Now, do you
Sorry.
typically go 1-to-1s, 2-to-1s? Like, what's your thoughts
Yeah,
on risk reward?
I've been, yeah, I've been going like my lately with like gold and like with gold or basically with like commodity stuff. I've been going more so trying to go more like 1-to-1. Um, try to get myself in a 55% to 60% win rate. Just make a little bit,
Yeah.
essentially try to just make the ratio at least work. I always, of course, would love more than a 1-to-1, but if I get like a 1.5-to-1, great. If not, if I get a 1-to-1, I'm not going to complain either. As long as I'm hitting roughly a 50-50 to 60-40 win ratio, shouldn't be too much of a problem. And literally, as soon as I get into that trade again, like I literally said, like we could see like a 40 lot or something trade in a second and drop price down. About about 40, roughly 50 lots traded within 10 seconds. Aggressive sellers to the downside there, and I'm going to get long another 3 micros there for the sake of um, buyers literally stepping in that last 10-second or 20-second interval. Hopefully they can push price up here, but the bid offer ladder is terrible. It is. Gold has
How
been.
rude.
Oh, look at there, it stopped out. All right, down 157 already on the night. We're not even 40. We're not even 45 minutes into this session, and I'm getting I am getting beat. But again, also like what I was about to say was gold has been super volatile today, guys. Like it has been insane. Um, I don't know if you guys saw the chart earlier here on the 30-minute, but geez Louise, did gold just rip earlier at 3 p.m. Eastern. We ripped from 34.50 to a high, the high point at the high point 3 hours later of 35, 34 ish. I mean, literally over like $80 an ounce in the matter of 3 hours. So crazy price action. Looks like we're going to continue to the downside here.
So it's only been a few weeks that we've been on this quiet markets. In this short period of time, do you have a favorite asset just in this time, this session? Or is it
I
still
think
too
I
early
like
to tell?
I feel like I like NQ the most in the overnights at the moment. It's probably my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But I do enjoy trading gold. Like I enjoy it a lot. But I think the NQ might be a little bit easier to deal with.
Yeah.
Gold's just a little bit more fickle in these overnights. It jumps quickly, it dives quickly, and I think it's just going to take a lot of practice and reading the order flow for me to really dial into gold in these quiet market sessions. So NQ, I think I have it down a little bit more. But yeah, good question. I mean, I didn't even really think about which one was my favorite or anything at this point. But
Mm-hmm.
I definitely, when I think about it now, I think it's Nasdaq, and that's not because I just got stopped out for another $80 loss or $100 loss there.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Let me jump in the chat real quick. Chibazor says it just got stopped out. Aussie dollar terrible. I think I'll call it quits for the day. Continue on the New York session. Hey, that's it, man. As long as you're keeping them small, right? No big deal. There's the beautiful thing is the sun always spins around, comes right back up for the New York session, and then we got a fresh day. So Aussie dollar. I'm just curious though, if you don't mind sharing, Chibazor, what kind of time frame were you looking at? Like where you're entering your trade, like a 5 minute, 15 minute, hour, 4 hour. Yeah, just kind of curious, so we can take a look at the Aussie dollar for you, maybe help out for potential future trades. So yeah, just let me know your thoughts
yeah,
on that. I'd be happy to jump onto the chart, look at some zones for you, look at some maybe fundamental analysis. I will say when it comes to the Aussie dollar, Chibazor, for me personally, it's more of a neutral asset. It's +1 in my neutral scale, meaning half the reports have been good for the Aussie, half have been good for the US dollar. So it pretty much creates kind of a mixed bag of results. So not everybody trades like me, but all I'm saying is I wouldn't touch it right now with a 10-foot pole just because it's so neutral. Um,
mhm.
if it's giving me a bullish or a bias or a bullish, that's a tongue twister, Paul. If bullish or bearish bias, that's the first time I have interest in trading anything. So, yeah, just thought I'd ask. Just got stopped out. Okay, yeah. Just let us know. Be happy to help you out there. But I like what you said because you're done for the day. Wait till New York, right? Sometimes you just got to step away. That's a good thing to do rather than over trading and revenge trading, right, Paul?
I agree. Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially during this time, if it's nighttime, if it's nighttime by him, you just get some good sleep, and just come back refreshed and make some money another day. I'm with you.
Yeah, yeah. Because look, Paul and I are learning this Asian session ourselves. It's our first time, so
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
I feel
Yeah,
like I'm in kindergarten again, Paul.
yeah,
Getting used to a new
yeah.
time session.
So true, man. But it's been fun. The last like 3 or 4
Yes.
weeks we've been doing this. It's fun. It's a new experience, but I've always wanted to learn Asian session anyway. So perfect opportunity here to be doing this with Ola Prime and yeah, really get my hands dirty with some of these commodities and the NQ
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. I probably won't be trading the Dow. I did see there was some love in the Dow in the chat earlier. I think Chibuzer was he was talking about it, yeah, because it was down like 0.4% today, whereas like the S&P was flat and Nasdaq was like up 0.4%. So definitely even more short biased. The Dow was even more short biased than the S&P
Mm-hmm.
and Nasdaq today, even though they all seemed like they were tanking. Somehow, in the last 30 minutes or so of trading, the S&P was able to rally back up like 40 points, and the Nasdaq was also able to rally up pretty well and save some face. But
Yeah.
I am looking to possibly get long here in the Nasdaq at some point soon, hopefully sooner than later. But what do we got?
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, Chibuzora, I see what you replied there. It's been bullish. I jumped in the momentum for a buy 1 hour ago and got stopped out a few minutes ago. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, I'm already seeing a couple things that might potentially help you. So, yeah, whenever Paul finishes with what he's showing, I could definitely take a look at Osadala.
Let's uh let's give it a yeah, let's give it a go here. Let's share your screen. I'll look to possibly be getting along here in the next like 3 to 5 minutes, and I'll let you know when I am long. But let's look at the Aussie dollar for a couple minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, and Chibuzor, just tell me what time frame you got in. Did you get in on a 5 minute? Did you get in on a 15 minute? Like what? I know you say breakout, so or momentum. So I was just curious to see what time frame you got in or used to get in. So, but yeah, just taking a look at Aussie dollar here. Um, I'll tell you, for me personally, the first thing I always do is just go straight to the highest time frame, the daily, daily time frame, because I want to see where, and the weekly as well, by the way. Well, I just want to see I want to see if I'm getting any contraction boxes, meaning is price just kind of going sideways. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, on the 5 minute, she was okay, perfect. So, one thing I'm looking at when I'm just looking at Aussie dollar from some of these higher time frames is let me turn my drawings back on. So, one thing I have noticed is we're kind of getting that contraction point, right? We got a contraction point here, which I drew up, looks like the other day. So here's what happens on these contraction points. So price will go sideways for a while. So again, this is a 4 hour time frame. So think of it. That's like 2 days of just going straight sideways, just in this little box area right here. Okay. So what the banks are doing, what the big banks are doing, and what a lot of retail traders are doing is waiting to see, okay, which direction is that price going to go from that box? Let me just get that. There we go. So let's just focus on just this sideways action. Okay. So you got buyers and sellers that are in here agreeing on price. This is what's called market value because it's relatively quiet, right? When compared to this trend up we had, this downtrend that we had further back in time. Price comes to points like this where everybody's in agreement. So shaking hands, they're not fighting, they're planning their next fight, they're planning their next move. So what happens? So the retail traders end up pushing price down. Okay. So this is where a lot of people are buying a breakout trade to the bearish to south. I say to the south, but to the downside, right? So price comes out. So this is where the short sellers start piling in on the retail side. Well, the big banks see that, so they want to start manipulating price to the other side. So what do? They push price up here. Why do they do that? Well, for these short sellers, right? They're picking price to go down. They're putting their stop losses up in this area, right? And let me get rid of my magnet tool real quick. But they're putting their stop losses generally in this area up here, right? So if they're putting stop losses and they're short selling, then what's their short sell stop loss? Well, it's a buy order, right? They're placing their buy orders. So what do the big banks need to fuel their moves? Well, they need buy orders. So when they push price up, they're collecting their buy orders, these buy orders from the retail traders, in order to turn around and fuel their short sell orders. Okay, so now what do? The process repeats because they now know that there's stop losses under here. If you're buying this market, then you're putting a stop loss down here. Opposite of a buy order is a short, a sell order, right? I should say a sell order. So the big banks push price because they need sell orders to fuel their buy orders to push price back the opposite direction. This is a little more advanced stuff, but I just want to kind of give a little bit of an understanding of why price does what it does. So this process repeats. And then what happens over the long term is you get this fanning out action where you're making lower lows, higher highs, lower low, higher high. Because each time it makes a lower low, a lower high, it's collecting those unfilled orders up top to fuel the bigger move, the trend move. Well, we're still in that funneling action. So we don't know when it's going to trend or how many contraction legs that we're going to get, right? This is a contraction leg. That's a contraction leg, contraction leg, contraction leg. So I say all that to say that when you look at this, not only fair value area that we had, but then you also look a little further back in time, you see this former resistance point and you see where it's been respected in all these little wicks right here. Okay, this is further back. So we're talking June. That goes right straight through all those contraction boxes. And what basically, I say all that to say, if I pull up my flag, y'all know my favorite flag, right? So this is the Hungarian flag. This is the easy visual way of seeing if I'm looking at the most recent swing high point and the most recent swing low point, we go to current price, it's right in the center of the flag. So what does that mean we're doing? We're diddling in the middle. This is where people get chopped to pieces. So, I just say all that to say it's good to find a market where maybe you're lower down here trying to buy upwards, whenever you get a trend reversal. Or if you're up here on another market and it's rolling over to the downside, then that's going to be some of the better areas to get into trades. Because when you're trading in the white part of the flag, which is the middle, right, middle of this swing high to this swing low, that's where people get chopped to pieces. So it's hard to really, it's tough for anybody, to trade in there because there's no clear trend. Now you can look at the most recent swing low to current price and say, okay, I am in an uptrend, and I think that's probably what you were seeing, right? So you got into your trade, and then obviously price reversed. So what I'm saying is maybe just take a step back on a higher time frame to kind of get that overall context. And let me get rid of the flag at this point, and just see, okay, am I getting expansion legs? Am I going to get chopped to pieces when price returns? So that's really what's happening. Yes, from this point in history, you've got an uptrend. But when you look at it in the overall context, that's where people are getting chopped up from the higher time frame traders. So hopefully that makes sense. Chibazor, I hope that does make sense. But yeah, you might just give yourself a little more room. Because if you got in an hour ago, right, you got in around this area here, really price didn't drop that much when you look at it in the context of the overall higher time frame price action. Probably 20 pips. It looks like you might have lost about 20 pips or so, assuming you got in this area. So, you might just, if you're looking for a place to get back in, well, I can already see a demand zone right here. Now, I'm not a signal search. We don't give financial advice. This is educational purposes only. But if somebody had a gun to my head and said I have to get into an Aussie dollar trade right away, then I'd wait for price to come down to this demand zone where there's typically unfilled orders and try to buy it to the long side. So that's just my thoughts on it. Again, it's a neutral asset to me, so I'm not going to touch it. But again, if I were forced to get into a trade right away, that's probably where I'd be getting in. So just basically a little cheaper spot for you, a little deeper retracement. Because if you're up here, well, same thing. You're kind of in the middle of this swing high, this swing low. So it works the same in all the time frames. But anyway, yeah, sorry for the long rant on that. I hope that does help you, Chibazor. Yeah, Paul. Any what you got going
Yeah.
over there?
No, that was good. I appreciate you going through that for Chibazor. That's awesome. And honestly, this whole time I've been looking between gold and NQ, and I'm actually focusing on the NQ right now. But the NQ is weird at the moment. The depth of market is kind of going very wild. There is a 60 lot offer that is every second or so, it is jumping 3 to 5 points in the NASDAQ, literally every second, if not every 3/4 of a second. It is constantly jumping up and down the ladder. And
Mhm.
I don't know why, whatever algorithm is running right now in the overnight here, it is doing something very weird for some reason. I've never really seen an algorithm jump like that so much, especially in our overnight set or in our quiet market sessions here. That's just wild, and it's still doing it. My goodness, it's been doing it now for like 5-10 minutes actually at this point. But on the depth of market, I see a lot of volume. We can move back to my
Share your
screen.
screen.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'll tell the
Yeah. Let's
action
back
crew.
to Paul, and we'll see what he's got rolling. If that's a visual, yeah, that'd be cool to see. The
Well, I can't
Dom.
show it, unfortunately. I can't show it, but I can show you the price levels at least of where it's
Mm-hmm.
doing it. I would love to show it, but I am gonna get long. I think I'm gonna get long here in a second. I need to adjust this here. I was waiting for what we had seen, so in this uptrend here that we have had overnight. Uh, this last time we kind of made a new high, and then we these, I don't know, this 30 minutes of time, we would like try to budge higher, but then we'd roll over a little bit. And I kind of want to see us roll back over to the where I have this like kind of this small trend line here. I feel like buyers are getting trapped right now until it rolls over, sweeps them, and then maybe we'll V off this little trend line that I've drawn, or the 50 period EMA. But I think I might get long 3 micros now, and then if it comes down here, get long a little bit more, because it looks like buyers are entering the market, and I'm at least going to get a small position in here. I'll put my stop below that EMA, give it a little bit of room. Target profit will go up. I do have on the market profile for the NASDAQ. There's not a ton to look at from the regular trading hours of today, aside from what we would consider the value area high, or the upper 70% range where most volume traded is around 23,575. So it's only 10 points above where we are at the moment. And then the all time, or the high of the day was at 23,670, and we opened at 23,600. So I'm looking to get out before that 23,600 level, which coincidentally on the depth of market is where we have about a casual 430 contracts just sitting there waiting to be eaten up by these overnight buyers. So what I'm looking for is that big order of 23,600 to just be like a magnet, or as I like to put on the screen here, I'll put it, my spaceship. It's trying
Yep.
to. Here we go.
I
There we
forgot I got
go.
to add my magnet to mine. What am I thinking?
Well, first we'll put an alien up here because that's part of it. Where's the spaceship?
There. Now my trade's going to turn around. Got it.
Here we are. All
I
right.
mean,
Here we are.
Yeah,
Big spaceship. Now, you might be
there we go.
thinking, Paul, why is there a I got to do this in the reverse order here. Whoops.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Why is there a spaceship on my screen? Well, it's because the spaceship is going to take price to where it belongs and just go off to a distant planet where it should be. So it's going to take it home to wherever it needs to go, and where
Right.
it needs to go is 23,594 specifically, very specifically.
ET ET's in the process of phoning home as we speak. Right.
Yes,
So,
yes, please.
getting ready to lift off. Yep.
and and yeah, we do have a larger a 60 about 68 lots on the offer at the moment at the 23,583 area, which is right around where that like swing high is, that we just made about 30 minutes ago. So um, if we could get there, eat through that, to then be on our way to the 23,600 liquidity, that would be great. I'm thinking, I personally don't like to play. I don't like to play the prediction game of that liquidity will be absorbed and will break out higher. My thought more so
Mhm.
is using that liquidity that I see up there as a magnet and to get out before we get to that liquidity. It's more so like a that is just a dangly fruit for all the buyers to want to go eat up, but right before they're about to get there, I push the sell button, I get out of my long, and before they
Yeah.
go to eat the fruit, because I don't know if they're going to eat the whole fruit or if they're going to eat half of it and then just get full and throw the rest out. I don't know what they're going to do. So
Yeah.
so yeah, there are other
Yeah.
traders that will do this exact opposite. They'll say, "Hey, look, it already got price moved up to that liquidity. That's super bullish. It wants all of that liquidity, and it's probably going to eat through it and go higher." And to them, I say
Good
kudos,
luck.
and I appreciate your conviction, but I would rather just take um, the relative move up there and go home with a little bit of money. So
Yeah.
insured money, I should say. So
Insured. Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, what you just described is it sounds pretty well the same for me. Whenever if I'm buying a demand, I want to sell just before that supply's in because yeah, it's in an uptrend. Yeah, the probability would be highest that it bounces through that zone. Now it might retrace off of it, but bounce through over the long term. But
yep.
but yeah, I just want to get that profit now. Now, what else I would do is obviously trail my stop and then maybe move my take profit above and over the zone, but only with a tight stop at that point to at least lock in those
Mhm.
gains. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. No,
But
yeah, and I think
they're
that
high probabilities. They're high probabilities. They're not guarantees. To
agreed.
keep going.
Yes, and yeah, I think that that's something that Coach Daryl is really good at. What you just said, where you get up to that liquidity, and then he just moves his stop very tight, and he allows for the play through that liquidity. And to be quite honest, I should consider doing things like that because it's like, what's the harm, right? You put your stop there. Now you're going to either get
Yeah.
out like maybe it is like 5 ticks below where you were
Right.
putting your target profit initially right before the liquidity, but like essentially you're getting as much as you wanted, but with some upside there. So, man, I think I might change the tune there a little bit and do exactly what you said. I'll look to try and trail more, once
Hmm.
it gets to that area, as long as it's not too quick. Because I mean, the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is a force to be reckoned with when it comes to
Yeah.
volatility at times. So I could also try to move the stop up there, and then all of a sudden it's like 15 ticks down, and I get stopped out
Yeah.
at a terrible area and there's slippage and everything. So that's a whole other
Yeah. I mean,
situation.
yeah. I mean, I think it probably just depends a lot on people's experiences. Like my personal experiences have been okay. I used to set all my trades at a 3-to-1, just hard stops, hard take profit, right? But I found that a lot of the wins that I got were capped, and then price went another like went 4-to-1, it went 5-to-1, it went 6-to-1. So I kind of looked at that as okay, I won the 3-to-1, I profited, but I lost out on that extra 1-to-1, that extra 2-to-1, the extra 3-to-1. So I started to realize I was capping. I wasn't letting my runners run. In other words, that's the easiest way to say it.
Yes. Yes.
So I found that when I move my stop losses, trail stops up manually, yeah, I may have some of those trades come back, and I'll probably lose 10, 15, 20 pips of that profit. But it's worth it if a lot of those trades are gaining me an extra 40, 50, 60 pips. So, above and beyond the
Yeah.
3-to-1 that I was set. So, yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to that. I think it just depends on what satisfies each person on their own. Hey, do you just want to settle for those easy wins and stack them up? No, I don't want to say easy, but those get out of the trades quicker. In other words, pocket your profits and move on to the next trade, or do you just want to let them run? So, yeah, I don't think there's
Right.
really a right or wrong answer. But it's always good, I think, for everybody to just kind of try on their own and see which one they're most comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, no better time than to do it when I've got another coach right next to me. So I say I will go for it and see how it kind of plays out. If I mean, that's assuming I even get the opportunity. Let's be real. I'm not expecting the Nasdaq to give me a handout necessarily. I just like this. I like this trade. I feel good about this trade. Relatively speaking, the probability seems to be in my favor. I've got a decent stop loss here to protect from any short-term downside, and then be able to get into a little bit more position possibly. But yeah, I nothing's a guarantee, as we all know. I mean,
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
really quick, I know that we have a chat room of full of serious traders when essentially everybody, I think literally was it everybody? Yeah, 100% of people did vote. The 9 votes was for the wide monitors. So we have some serious traders in here. Nobody wants the beach setup or the travel setup or
I
any of
think I'd get
that.
too distracted at the beach. Now, especially with the speed with which you guys trade on the futures market, I think that'd be too
No way. Yeah.
distracting. Like, I mean, I could
No way.
definitely do it easier because I do such high time frames. I just set it and forget it. So, but yeah, I'd get too distracted. Make stupid
Yeah.
decisions, especially on the
Your
smaller time
laptop's
frames.
right. Your laptop's probably overheating while you're in like the 95-degree
Oh yeah,
sun. It's,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
uh,
if it's a popcorn trade of the day, I can see that. Oh, by the way,
right.
popcorn trade of the day is when there's a piece of news coming out and you need to stay as far away from the buy or sell button as possible, but you just still want to watch the price action. You move it to a 1 minute time frame, or like some of these after hours earnings reports, right? That's where I went
Yeah.
to get my schooling. That's what they always would say each day because they had a post market show after the market closed, and they would always talk about the popcorn trade of the day. What is Meta? Is Apple doing after hours earnings or whatever stock was doing that? So they labeled it the popcorn trade of the day, meaning just move it to a 1 minute time frame when it's released, watch, and stay the hell away from the buy and sell button.
That's
Just to watch
great.
that
That's
action
perfect.
with your bowl of popcorn. Yeah.
That's the best thing to do, honestly. A lot of the time is, you've got the traders that there are some traders that very much love news event days, and especially with like certain stocks, and there is some sort of edge that they'll have when it comes to like an earnings call or something, and you're able to kind of trade the standard deviation moves relatively mechanically, and make some quick like literally intrasecond scalps. But for generally speaking, for like futures trading and stuff, very difficult. We recommend for consistency to usually stay away from news events because you're just coin flipping essentially. So yeah, for the futures trading, and I would assume forex trading as well, it's just not necessarily the best idea. It feels like more of a gamble than anything that's a favored probability for your normal strategies that you would trade. So
Yeah.
yeah, the
Um,
that
let's see what we had here. Yeah, Delco. 99% of my problems come from oversizing. Yes, that is. I don't know what you think, Paul. I think that's the most. That's always the first piece of advice that I hear any of my mentors ever give to anybody. Whenever somebody talks about not doing so well or doing poorly in trading, that is
what
drop
was
your
that? Sorry.
size. Dropping
Oh
your
yeah,
size,
100%.
like when you're
Yes.
struggling,
Yeah,
dropping your size.
for sure, for sure, no doubt about it. And Rude Girl also said, "Well, you guys try to get funded on live." Yeah, actually, you know what's funny? Rude Girl is literally on the regular trading hours session that we did earlier. We were talking about that, and I mean, generally, that's been my goal. Like right now, in the 50K, I'm in a 50K practice account right now, so it's not even my challenge account that I have. So I have a 100K challenge account that I'm trading in the regular trading hours. And I'm usually trading it in the quiet market session as well. But I'm taking a step. I had a little bit of a loss today in the regular trading hours, so I'm just taking a step back. I'm going to my practice account to essentially just give myself a little bit of a mental break from the day. I had a great day of trading, believe it or not. It was extremely uh, it was extremely good. It was just a small run of losers where I was essentially trying to get long towards the end of that day, and I had too tight of stops, and it eventually worked out where I made a good chunk of that loss back, but wasn't enough to cover the losses on the day for sure. So, but yes, we are
Yeah.
like me, Coach Daryl, Iris, and Sam. We're all talking about in our on our challenge accounts, trying to get or trying to show our process of getting funded, getting a live funded account. I mean, that definitely would be one of the main goals, right? That's definitely what we want to do. So definitely tune in for the regular trading hour session as well as here on the quiet markets. I'm usually trading my challenge account, but like I said, I'm just trying to be a little bit more strategic, take a step back tonight, still take some trades and, you know, get some practice reps in essentially. But, I'll be back at it again tomorrow, and then I'll be back on the quiet markets on Monday, and I'll probably be trading my challenge account, to be quite honest. So you can't keep me away
Yeah.
from trading my challenge account too often. This is the one exception. I feel like this is the first time I've ever traded my practice account on a quiet market session. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. Prior to starting helping out with Hola Prime, I had a 250K challenge with another firm. This is before I'd even heard of Hola Prime. So, um, yeah, that's the one I'm currently working on. But I definitely plan on jumping into a Forex account here with Hola Prime. I mean, I want to definitely dig into it. You, the best salesmen in the world buy their own products, right?
oh
So
yeah.
yeah, I definitely need to be getting me my own account. Yeah, because I'm pretty excited about it. So I will be doing the same thing. And yeah, it would be kind of fun just to kind of document it, right? Maybe make a video snippet here and there and turn it into a montage at the end. What is that on our
Oh yeah.
screen?
Oh, it's so oh no, yeah. So our back end screen is different, but yes, I mean, I definitely am looking forward to that, and me and Coach Daryl and Sam and Iris were saying, I think that's going to be that's a big deal. That's a big part of what we're doing here. Is we're trying to lead by example and show people, and not only educate people on how we trade and whatnot, and our thought processes, psychology, etc., but to actually show results as well on a day to day
Yeah.
basis. And yeah, I mean, leading by example is just the way to go. So
Yep. Yep. Yeah, because I've been doing kind of the same thing, just getting used to this Asian market and obviously the European market. I work in the morning on a lot of the trades. I've been showing them as examples on our GUI trades. Not all of them initially I would put on my other account, right? The one I'm working on funding for. But yeah, that's so yeah. I think I'm with you on that. Just kind of being careful with it. But there's always a good example to show, regardless of the time frame. Um,
yeah, yeah.
um, and then are we still? Oh, hold on a second. I just wanted to look at something real quick.
Chabuzer did say, like earlier, I missed this. Sorry, man. The NAS 100 spread has been pretty high on Match Trader. Any input, Coach Tiger and Coach Paul? So NAS 100, I don't like. I only have the futures. I'm assuming you're talking about the CFD version of it,
Mhm.
in terms of like the spread being relatively high. But if you're talking about now in the night session, I guess that would make sense
Yeah,
to me
yeah,
in the night session for it to be wider for sure. I mean, even in the futures right now, the spread is usually like 2 to 3 ticks wide. Um, in the NAS 100, I would expect the CFD to be even wider than that in comparison. So so yeah, and then Rude Girl also
yeah.
said
And I
maybe
don't.
I can get a funded and pay out and get a payout and get featured to come on the show. I mean, we love bringing traders on who get challenge accounts, get the live funded account, get payouts. We love showcasing you guys and
Yeah,
gals. So definitely would love to see it for sure. So
yeah. Because I'm one of the people that does some of the interviews. So like I did one this morning. Well, a few hours ago. I'm here in Kansas City. That's where I live, right in the center of the U.S. But yeah, I actually got on with a lady in Alabama. She'd been trading 3 or 4 years. She said she got a 100K account with us, and she has already passed the challenges, and she already has $10,000 of payouts due to her. It was ten
awesome.
thousand five hundred. So um, yeah. So what I'm saying is, whenever that happens, we oftentimes do invite people on to just give a quick 15-20 minute interview, maybe 30 minutes, depending on how long you want to talk. But yeah, we ask a series of questions. Me and Coach Sam. Coach Sam does most of them, and then Coach Michael does them in Spanish with people that primarily speak Spanish. So yeah, as you guys
Mhm.
pass your challenges, get funded, and have a payout. Yeah, we'll definitely be hitting you up because we want to hear about your success, hear about maybe your trading style, some things that you went through. Yeah. Shout out to the ladies, Rude Girl. That's right. In fact, the last two I did were ladies. And that was one thing that that was one of the last questions I asked them. I said, what kind, the question is, what type of advice would you give a new trader, right? Well, I kind of factor that in. I said, what advice would you give to women considering trading? Because as we all know, if we look in some of the older trading videos, it's a lot of sweaty guys in a pit, right, yelling and spitting all over each other. Fill or kill, or all the different calls. Um, the first gal I interviewed said that's the image that people have in their head, women have in their head, right? But it's nothing like that. She said, I sit behind a laptop, just me and myself in the quiet. And then the gal today said, yeah, it's just a simple mathematic equation. She came from the finance industry, from banking. So, for somebody like her, she said it was just a natural progression. So, but yeah, power to the women. I tell you, us guys, we can be macho. We can be, we can be outrageous at times and show offs when it comes to trading, just like anything else. But overall, I think the women are more cool, calm, and collective, and more calculated. So we need more women traders, right? I think we do. What do you think about that, Paul? I think we
No,
make great traders.
it's so funny. You literally, that's it. We talked about it like the other day. It was either the last time Coach Iris was on. I think it was, yeah. So it was Tuesday, I think, when Coach Iris was first on this week, and she's a trader here at Ola Prime as well. And we were mentioning with her, we were literally saying we think that women are starting to get into the space more, and deservedly so, because biologically we genuinely think that women have an advantage, a little bit calmer on the charts, I think. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely nice to see a little bit of more, like, diversity in the gender space for sure of trading, because yeah, like you said, just a bunch of dudes screaming at each other, and
We
and
take we take ridiculous
yeah,
risks. It's in our DNA. But yeah, like you say, the women they think a little more logically than we do. I think overall, that's not to knock us
yeah,
men, but I'm just saying, it's I don't know. It seems
yeah,
there
no,
seems
it's
to be
true.
a trader. There's a trading instructor here in Kansas City that I taught at the last academy that I went to, and one of the best traders I've ever met. Just one of the smartest, whippiest people. So yeah, it doesn't matter the gender in this avenue. It really doesn't. But as time goes on, hopefully more and more people understand that, and we start getting more and more women. So yeah, equal opportunity for all. It don't matter. It really does not matter.
Mhm.
Um, let's see here.
you know and yeah, I was gonna say real quick, uh in the Zoom, just in the Zoom chat, Tiger.
Okay.
Chibuzer is talking about, he still can't pass to the 100K challenge, and it's almost been 2 weeks. And what I would say to that, my friend, is this ain't a rush. 2 weeks is really
Yeah.
not much time at all. 100K challenge. I don't know whether yours is future. Let us know if it's futures or forex, because the risk uh, stipulations are different, I think, for each, whether it's forex or futures. But 2 weeks is like no time at all. That's the thing
Yeah.
with a lot of these challenge accounts, is the tendency is to want to pass it quickly so you can move on to your funded account, and then maybe try to be a little bit more careful. But I would say just build up the reps, just build up the reps, do it consistently on smaller position, and just grind it a little bit. And then once you get through that challenge, once you do get through the challenge, because you will eventually, um, then you're just kind of prepared to kind of be even keel, take things as they are, and hopefully get some big payouts going into the future. But I wouldn't rush it personally if I was you, my friend.
Yeah. Agree.
I would definitely take it a little slow, at least. Just like, you don't have to take it like, one micro lot traded per trade or anything. You can do a couple micros or three or whatever you feel comfortable with in terms of position size. But you know, if
Yeah.
if it is a futures account, oh, he says FX one step challenge. So maybe you can talk to that a little bit more. Um, you can talk to that a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely. Real quick, just to remind everybody, here in about 4 minutes, we're going to pick our winner for the challenge account. Okay, the free challenge account. So stay tuned. Here in about 4 minutes, we will throw a name out. But yeah, that's the first thing I thought of. 2 weeks. That's nothing. I mean, I've been in my challenge account for several months, right? So now, obviously, I'm on a higher time frame, but the point is, 2 weeks. 2 weeks is way too quick, I think. I mean, yeah, it can be done, right? Uh, it can definitely be done, Chibazar, but I don't know. That me and Paul had the same initial gut response. Like, that's too quick. You just need a little time. Yeah, definitely don't rush it. I mean, if I'm doing a challenge account, I'm personally I'm risking like zero point 0.2 to 0.5% on a trade. That's it. Like you hear the number all the
Mhm.
time, 1 to 2%. 1 to 2% as far as what most people are risking. But it just works a little different with a challenge account. So I personally feel comfortable at that zero point 0.2 to zero point 0.5. So you take that how you will, but that's
Yeah,
2 weeks is a long time if you're risking 2, 3, 4%. But
Yeah.
if you're taking off some of your risk, just to be extra careful, because at the end of the day, you're typically paying for these. You're typically paying to enter these challenges. Now, obviously, we give them away on our end, but yeah, just be careful with it. So 2 weeks, yeah, give it a few months, man. That'd be my advice. Like I said, I've been in mine for several months, most of this year, to be honest with you. So,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, because you're going to have drawdowns, you're going to have some good times. So it all averages out. Average is average. Average is average. You'll have some losers. So that's kind of where I'm at. Had some ups, had some downs, had some ups, had some downs. So
I love Delco's comment saying slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Love that. That's a great one. Might might
yeah,
steal that.
gosh,
I'll credit you. I'll credit you, Delco. Though every time I do say it, I'll credit you. I'll give you a shout out for sure. That's a good one. Like it a lot.
heck yeah, that's that stealing that, totally stealing that.
So I
Never
just
heard that.
saw a bunch. So I just saw on the Nasdaq here. I'm looking at the order flow right now, and I saw a bunch of buyers try to just push this up, and there's a ton of buyers literally right. Maybe I can see it on the 5 second. Maybe the 5 second chart will, believe it or not, be able to show us here the volume spike that I'm talking about. But I'm going to be moving my stop loss to break even at this point because literally because of that order flow that I
Mm.
just saw. But sorry, I'm gonna have to. I'm like trying. I never look at 5 second charts, but it's the closest thing I can get to kind of showing my thought process here on Project X.
5 seconds. How about that?
No, come back down. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I get down.
Here we go.
I've gotten down to the 1 second time frame a few times just to sit and watch, but it's
Yeah.
just
So you can
for
see right
yeah.
here, this bar. I'll get the tool out, the little my little circle tool here. At this little white bar at the top right here is where, and you can see the volume candle as well down here. This big white volume candle. That's white is bullish, blue is bearish on my charts. Most of that volume that you see on this huge volume bar literally happened at the top of that wick. And
No.
sometimes what that can do, like this is where like me and Sam, when we talk about order flow in the regular trading hours, it definitely works better. This thought works better when you are dealing with high liquidity environments. But when you start seeing big volume happening at the tops of candles and then immediate push down, things start to get a little iffy because then all of a sudden you got buyers that maybe not only do you have sellers coming in, but then you have buyers who are immediately going to stop themselves out or get out of their position. So then you've got double the sell power to the downside here. And you can kind of see a little bit of a vicious like reversal occur depending on the situation. So right now, um, I was close to halfway to my take profit there. But then this just occurred. And now we have kind of like a little rollover occurring here.
Mhm.
And I don't, if we do roll back down to my entry, the structure is a little bit different at this point. So if I go back to the 5 minute, I'll
Yep.
reset and then reset.
About ready to give an account away here in a second.
Yep, let's do it. I'll finish my thought and we'll
Yeah,
get her done. Wow.
absolutely.
Jeez Louise, guys, I'm sorry. This is horrendous having to for me dealing with this here. Okay. But now, yeah, so if we were to get back down to my opening position price here, I kind of would look. We'd be breaking through, this EMA, which is fine, but I'd be looking for more of like to get long again, possibly where all these wicks are on this 5-minute chart. I'd be looking to get long somewhere again between 23,562 to 23,558 maybe for a better long entry. If it kind of bases out again, or if I see a big wick down and a bunch of buyers push it back up, some kind of signal like that. So, all right, that's my trade, and let's get on with the good stuff here. Giving away an account. So, do you want to do the honors,
That's
Tiger?
sure thing. Sure thing. Well, so again, this will be for a 50K account. I believe that was right. And
Forex. Yep.
back in. Let's get that graphic, and we need a drum roll, right? So who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Rude girl.
Rude
Rude
girl. There you go.
There we go. I think we did the Freudian slip and flashed it earlier by mistake. But it happens. Rude girl. Congrats to you. Got you a 50K account, and there we go. You know, we're helping out the ladies here as well, so that's awesome. Congrats, Rude girl.
It just showed again. Now it showed on the stream. It wasn't showing on the stream for a second there. So,
okay.
Congrats. Golf claps for everybody. Golf claps for Rude girl.
Yeah, just keep an eye on your inbox, Rude girl, and we'll definitely be sending you instructions on getting all set up, getting you rolling, and just definitely stay in touch with us. Just stay tuned to these streams. Bring your friends, family. There you go. Yes, she says yes. And then just keep with us. And then if you have thoughts, questions on anything, we're here for you, and we'd love to hear your progress along the way as well. So good stuff.
Yeah. Check us out on Discord. You can join our Discord and chat with us and whatnot. You can tag us and let us know, like Coach Tiger said, how you're doing. Keep us updated because we love to hear it. I love to see it. I love to read the comments on Discord and the mentions and whatnot. And I'm super excited for you. And Edgar asked, what platform are you trading on, Paul? It's the Project X platform for the futures. So for the futures, we trade on the Project X platform. I like it a lot. It's got a lot of good, cool features. It's fun to trade on. I enjoy the layout tremendously. It's, of course, you're probably used to a different platform. You probably trade on a different platform already, but this doesn't take too long to get used to be quite honest. And like I said, I like it. So it's got a lot of cool features.
Rude girl. So that interview's not up yet. I just did it today. So obviously it's going to take our back end some time. I should say our marketing department some time to edit that video. So just stay tuned to the Hola Prime Global channel. So not this one, not this Hola Prime TV. It'll be the Hola Prime Global channel where you'll see a trader payout series section. So it shall be out at some point. I don't know how long it takes them to get it up and edited and running, but just stay tuned on that. And let's see here. I put the website on there for you guys and gals as well, the holaprime.com site. When you click on that, you'll see the Discord button right at the top of the page to where you can go and join that.
Yeah. Awesome. My cat is staring at me from the table to my right. I think my cat's asking me whether or not I'm going to be able to get out of this NASDAQ trade by the end of the session. I would love for price to just go right up to my target profit here, but we are slow grinding, I must say.
Our cat hangs out. My cat knows not to come into my bedroom, so I always have my door shut. But like throughout the day when I'm just sitting here trading or studying or reading or whatever, he'll come right up to the edge of because it's hardwood out in our living room. I got a carpeted floor, so he goes right up to the edge of the carpet. His little paws are right at the edge because he knows better than to step foot on my carpet, and he'll just sit there and stare at me. So I put a little cat jungle gym thing there so he can get up top. It's about 4 feet in the air, and he can sit there and lay and watch me trade. So probably the most bored cat ever because it's not the most exciting thing to do. Watch somebody trade.
But, man, That's adorable, though. That is
Yeah.
that's so great. I mean, cats love being
I just don't,
lazy though too, so they're cool with it.
yeah. Well, I just don't like cat hair on my bed or because my office is in my bedroom. Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, I know it looks like a living room behind me, but
Yeah.
that's, so I just don't like cat hair on my bed or in my carpet, my clothes, none of that. Keep it out there. Let's see here. Let's see here. Just wanted to see. I can go through a couple charts real quick of some other, just like 3 or 4 other things I was watching, if you like.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do
So
that, and I'll
about
let you guys know if
20
there's
minutes.
any update on my trade or anything. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Mine's pretty well the same as well. It hasn't really moved a whole lot as far as those 2 open trades I have. Delco, I saved your quote, by the way. I'm saving that so I can share that in the morning with my Forex Fire group. So appreciate that. Shout you out as well. Um, yeah, so there was another trade that I was looking at, potential trade on the Euro Japanese yen, and I think, yeah, I'm still getting a bearish signal on this. So a little annoyed that I didn't get into this thing because it was off of this zone here. Oh, that's why I didn't get in. That's that. Oh, that's right. Okay, I remember. I was trying to remember why I couldn't get in. Why I didn't get in this trade. I didn't because this is a demand zone at the bottom, going right through his mouthpiece. So when price left this, the supply area came down. It was not strong enough to push through this bottom, to push through this lower swing low, I should say, right? Because then it turned around and reversed. Well, I was still wanting to keep an eye on it because I was getting quite the bearish bias. Again, it was -6. So anyway, it touched it, and I thought about trying to re-enter it on like a M shape, like an M structure. So I went down from the 4 hour to the 1 hour, and I had this 1 hour supply. Price came up, went in. Yeah, that's why. That's another reason I didn't get in because I didn't really get a lot of volume when it touched. I mean, the volume spread analysis candles kind of went down. So it just didn't show a whole lot of institutional interest right there. It was more retail interest. Because institutions make bigger volume spread candles, just like they do volume candles for other markets. So yeah, it still would have been a pretty good one if I had went off that 1 hour supply there. Again, I didn't get into it because I was more interested and focused on those other 2 trades, but was at about 20 pips range. It did end up dropping about 68. So that dropped to 3-1. Would have been, would be 3-1 reward to risk, but again, I didn't get into it. So, but again, I don't get into a trade unless I have all my puzzle pieces. If I have a good zone, if I have good price action, if I'm high on the curve, I'm selling. Oh, that's what I wanted to say, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So this morning when I did my Forex Fire session, this is for everybody in the chat. When I did that Forex Fire session, right after the midpoint, which is basically 2 hours and 15 minutes into the stream, because it's a 4 hour stream, right? 4 hours and 15. But right in the middle, right after break, I did it was about a 15, 20-minute little segment on my supply and demand zones and how I look at them, how I look at trend, how I look at supply and demand, how I look to see if I'm buying low on the curve or high on the curve. So I would just encourage you guys to go at whenever you have a few minutes, after stream or tomorrow or even over the weekend. I would encourage you to go check that little 15, 20-minute section out. Again, it's right in the middle, but it's just, I think I had a lot of people asking me about supply and demand lately. So I thought I would do a little segment. So hopefully that helps. Again, it's the Forex Fire stream. If you go to the live section of this YouTube channel that you're on now, then just go to the Forex Fire stream it'll say 8-7, August 7th, in the description. But definitely encourage you to check that out. I think that'll help you out. Even if you don't trade supply and demand, it's still good to know where those zones are so that you can see if you're, if they get in the way of a direction that you're buying or selling. So hopefully that makes sense. I think everybody should understand how it works. Again, whether you trade it like me or not. So yeah, Rude Girl, check it out. I think it'll help you guys and gals out, every single last one of you.
Yeah.
It's only about 15, 20 minutes. You don't have to worry about the whole 4 hour stream. Just go pick out that 15, 20 minutes. And it's right after our break. So in the middle of that stream, you'll see about 15 minutes of ads, coaching ads from us. And then when we jump back onto the session, I jump onto it. So check that out. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, and I think you'll learn a thing or two on it. Okay. So that's my piece for the day. And I think I'm going to do the same thing, Paul, with my master pattern indicator I use as well. I might do that at some point. Maybe put a series of these together.
I would say I would recommend for sure. I think people would find it informative and useful. Even if, yeah, like you were saying, they don't, even if their strategy doesn't necessarily at this time like use anything that you're saying, you're talking about, like I don't feel like it hurts to any degree. If anything, it's just going to help you. Understanding supply and demand, and especially the master pattern thing is, yeah, I love hearing you talk about like the master pattern stuff, and I probably am going to be watching I'm going to be watching all your videos that you do make. I think you should do it for sure, because I'll watch them.
Well,
I'll definitely be a watcher.
So I actually did make them. I just made them on my own personal channel. I don't know if I would be allowed to share that or not. I'll have to talk with back end about that, or Mega or somebody, but I could always redo them. Every time you make a video, you play it back and you realize, why didn't I put this piece there? Why didn't I say that there? So I'll probably end up redoing them anyway, even though I've already made them. But yeah, I've already made a supply and demand video, a master pattern video. I just did it on my own personal channel before Hola Prime.
Gotcha.
So, but I'll probably redo it,
right,
because every time you explain something, teach something, you tend to do a better job, right? So
yeah, find a better way, or yeah.
Yeah. So I'll probably just do that. I'll get with the back end at some point, see how they want me to go about that. But
Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, so I've already went through that. The Aussie Swiss, that's the trade I'm in now. Pound Japanese yens. Yeah, so this was another. So when I got into that euro pound trade, I was also looking at the pound yen, but I ultimately decided on obviously the euro pound. So that's the trade I'm in. I was looking at this one initially because of this supply area here. Now, the reason I was loving this one so much is because look at the volume down here. These big old red volume candles they had, the volume spread candles. That was on the legs out, which shows strength if I just isolate that. But yeah, so that first candle, that's the first leg out. Yeah, it was that yellow candle. So I had awesome selling pressure in this area. So that was initially going to be the one I was going for. But I felt like I was in a little better sync with euro pound, just because that's the one I profited on pretty good last week. So sometimes you ride the hot hand. I mean, had I not placed that trade last week, I'd have probably picked this one easily, because it actually had a little bit more of a bearish bias towards it on my scoring system.
Okay.
-9, right? So it has a -9, and then the euro pound is giving me a +5. Actually, it's actually just fallen. So, yeah, it's funny. Oh yeah, like I said, both those trades I'm in, they actually went to the neutrals shortly after. So, but anyway, I just, I probably in hindsight probably could have done a better job about placing a half an order on this one and a half an order on the euro pound, just to balance out the risk a little bit, but still keep 1 unit of risk, right, for the British pound.
Right.
Since the pound is in both pairs. So that probably would be the one thing I might have done a little different, but it is what it is. It kind of bounced a little bit and kind of retraced back to it. So yeah, I basically need to stay away from the euro, because I'm already in a euro position, the euro pound. I need to stay away from the euro, the pound, the Aussie, and the Swiss. So that leaves what? The US dollar and the Japanese yen. Yeah. So what have I got for dollar Japanese yen? I've got it's pretty well neutral for me. I don't really have a bearish or bias signal on dollar yen. Let me see. It's given me where is dollar jet? Dollar jet. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. It's a -9. Okay, so let's look at that real quick. dollar Japanese
Sweet.
yen. So I have permission to sell this market, but I don't think I have a great price. Yeah, see so this actually, so here's a supply zone I drew yesterday. This is one that yeah, this is one I missed. So it worked out perfect too. Look at that, hit my supply zone perfect and dropped down. That would have been a good place to buy to cover right ahead of the demand zone.
Uh,
But why? I don't remember why I didn't get into that one. 4 o'clock. Oh, it's because I didn't like the volume when it hit the zone. It was just kind of lazy. Like it wicked in right here, but the volume never really picked up. I like to see institutional type volume, but I just didn't get it. And I
yeah,
knew that when that candle formed and I started getting these bearish candles, I knew that I should be in the trade, but I'd be breaking my rules, Paul, because I didn't see the volume spike like I like to see. So I stayed out of it. It ran off and left me, but that's fine because I didn't break my rules, right?
couldn't agree more.
That's going to happen sometimes. Trades are going to run off and leave you, even if you don't have all the puzzle pieces together. But that's fine because as sure as I would have got in that trade, uh, the next 2 or 3 times it'd probably be a loss because there's no volume following through. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's pretty much the only thing left I guess I was looking at. We got about 10 minutes, Paul. Rest of the time's yours.
Yeah.
Sorry, I seem to hog up
Yeah.
some time.
Oh no, you're good, man. As long as we're showing at least me getting into some of these trades when I'm getting into them and
Yeah.
see them for a little bit, and I can update everybody on what's happening. Oh, top dog is in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. Good to
What's
see you
going
again.
on?
Still,
Top
even more
dogs.
votes in the poll. Everybody is still voting ultra wide monitors, literally 100%. Love to see it.
Yeah.
We'll switch to my screen now. I'll have them switch.
Got
But
solo
there was a
YouTube
little bit
channel.
of a down leg. There was a little bit of a down leg in NASDAQ. We were consolidating in a tiny little channel upwards to this, to this high area. And then we just had a little bit of volume come in. Nothing, I mean, honestly, it's not that much volume at all on the sell side that you can see in this candle. This 5-minute candle had pretty minimal sell volume. So I'm wondering if kind of like essentially what happened was a lot of the bid volume dropped out so that we could get, so buyers could get in, at a better price here to move it upwards towards my good old alien spaceship and take price home to where it belongs. So hoping to be able to get longer, like maybe get another 3 lots on if we do come back down into this area, this like 23,570 area. Would try to get long a few lots for if we start to like kind of show like a little bit of a base out maybe by this 21 period EMA. If we see like maybe the candle reject that and then the next candle opens and we see some decent volume, I'll to the upside, I'll try and buy in somewhere between like 23,571 to 23,573. But that's an if we see it. So, but yeah, I'm
Right on.
unfortunately this trade's just been grinding. This one's a grinder. The other 2 that I took earlier were done within a minute. 2 losses quickly within like a minute, but this one I've been in this trade for about 50 minutes now. So
Yeah. Well, the blessing
yeah,
is you found out. You know what though? When I lose a trade, that's the way I prefer to lose a trade. I want to lose it right away. I don't want to lose it 12 hours later after getting in the trade, right?
that's the
If
truth.
you lose right away, then that just tells you, okay, you were wrong. Just go reevaluate. But it seems like those ones that linger around, like for me for an example, they're chewing sideways in my supply and demand zones, and they're just not moving. Right? You always have that little bit of hope that okay, well, it was strong enough to at least hold it from continuing in that direction. So let's give it some time, and then yeah, 10, 12, 13 hours later, it just blitzes right through the rest of the zone. It's like, oh, why didn't you just do this half a day ago so I could have been looking at another opportunity?
It's true, man. It's like generally speaking, like taking a loss immediately, it is a little bit of like a sucker punch, it feels like. But I agree. I'd rather be wrong. Like, I'd rather take that punch real quickly and just, I feel like I can get back on my feet super quick. Like, yeah, I feel like I'm light on my feet, essentially. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
If I'm if this stops me out after like an hour, I will laugh because it was grindy. It genuinely looks like, especially after this price action that I just saw in the last 2 minutes here, we kind of on the order flow on like the more seconds based time frame. We kind of did this little like micro bottom, and there was some aggressive selling at the bottom of each of those little tips. I wish I could show you guys, but and then we bounced up. So to me, that showed like, some sellers tried to aggressively get down further, but failed right there, and then we bounced a little bit, and they might try again and succeed, but for now they aren't. So
Yeah.
we
Real
shall
quick,
see.
being asked, Rude Girl, do we have solo YouTube channels? I do. I don't know if we're allowed to share anything outside of Hola Prime, so I'll get back to you on that. Yes, I do, but I just need to find out. I don't know. Paul, do you have any idea? Are we allowed to share our own channels or no?
I have no idea. I have
Yeah.
absolutely zero clue.
Yeah. We'll find out and get an answer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely want to. I mean, all I did was just created it for a series of videos to explain what my strategy is. I don't have any affiliations or partnerships with anybody, but yeah, I mean, I did write one up on supply and demand, on fundamental analysis, technical analysis, a 30,000-foot view of the markets. So I'll find out and see if I'm allowed to share those links. But stay tuned. Maybe tomorrow I'll do that if you're around, or in the morning with my Forex link, or Forex Fire Show. So just want to be careful on the legal end, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely. I will probably, no matter what happens here in this next 5 minutes, um, just for the sake of closing up shop, I'll probably just get out of this position regardless. If it stops me out or if it's up here somewhere, I'll just get out for the sake of getting out to kind of wrap up the session. But
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, no need to really
Yeah.
hold it overnight or anything like we were talking about earlier. It's just my practice account, and just was getting the reps in here on the overnight session after an unfortunate red session this morning on the challenge account. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
no biggie.
Yeah, unless I have a spike on these two trades, because they're pretty much sideways. I'm sitting minus 41 on my P&L, so that's yeah. It was at minus 22 earlier back end when I gave it to you, but sitting at minus 41 right now. Obviously, my trades are multiple days, 2-3 days. If it's last week I had you and I on this show last week. I was sitting in the same spot with the euro pound, where
Mm-hmm.
it was just basically break even. And then obviously the NFP report came out and just spiked me up. So hopefully I can get a similar result tomorrow, right? I don't know. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's
Friday.
Friday. Okay. So we don't even have any US data. So yeah, I don't know that mine will move fast enough to where I would have any interest in holding these trades over the weekend, especially with the way the climate is, with all the tweets that come out, all the reports that have been coming out on tariffs and delays and trade deals, right? All this stuff. It seems like it comes out on the weekend a lot. We get a lot of that type of news, and it just makes things go crazy. So I'm going to be out of these trades regardless. I don't see enough news or anything to push them in my favor or to the negative, very quickly, like we did with the NFP last week. So say all that to say, unless it somehow spikes 100 pips, well, either way, I'll be out of the trade. even if I'm break even if I'm slightly down, even if I'm 50, 100 pips up, I'm out of these trades by the time the intraday market session ends tomorrow. So now
Gotcha.
you asked me a few months ago. I mean, I used to hold trades open over the weekend, but again, since the Trump presidency, right, it's just been too crazy to
Mhm.
hold anything open over the weekend, even with being a higher time frame trader like myself. So definitely been reevaluating that a lot, and it's just a lot. I feel a lot antsier the thought of holding anything open. So there's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's where being a seasoned and very responsible risk manager comes in. It's being aware that you know the whole point of trading is to be able to stay in the game for a long period of time, even if there's a period of time where you've got a losing streak. The point is to not be losing at a rate of which you can't stay in the game. That's what all the good traders will tell you. All the great traders will tell you. Like the whole point is to have capital at any point to be able to trade. So that means you have to be a fantastic risk manager. And one of those things, that's a great idea, is to not necessarily be holding exposure to things that have a lot of political or headline risk or anything like
Yeah,
that. Just like you're saying, Coach Tiger. So I mean, I'm all about
yeah.
it. I am all about
Yeah,
what you just said.
and Coach Michael on our Forex morning show says it perfectly. He says he tells people if you really like the trade you're in, close it out, wait till the weekend gets going, or wait till the intraday market switches over to the other day, and then just jump right back in. It's just something real simple. It's just a real simple
Yep,
thing. Just hop back in,
exactly,
hop right
exactly,
back in.
and
Simple as that.
it's that easy. That easy. But so I think we're wrapping up here. We got 20 seconds left in the session, so we're gonna wrap it up here. Fantastic. It was a fantastic, fun session. I would say a lot of good engagement in the chat. We appreciate you all coming out. My Nasdaq trade is starting to look like it might turn up, so that's nice, possibly here. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back on the quiet markets session on Monday night. Me and Tiger will be, but there's also going to be one on Sunday night. So make sure to catch everybody doing the quiet market session Sunday night. So until
Yep.
then, uh, Coach Tiger, thank you for everything. It's been a pleasure, and I will
For
see you
sure.
soon. Have a great weekend.
All right. Peace, love, and chicken grease.
Have a great one.
All right.
Hola Prime. Trade with transparency.